Media Watch now, James Creedon's here. James, 25th of January marks the beginning, 1 year ago, of the uprising in Egypt. Facebook, Twitter played a major role in what happened then. All the information coming out was on those social network websites. What have they been saying today?
Well, even the name, I suppose, January 25th, that was one of the hashtags on Twitter to get all the messages together, to get people out to demonstrate, to organise the demonstrators. Let's have a look online, 1 year down, 1 year on, and you can see that a lot of people are commemorating what happened a year ago, celebrating what happened a year ago. In this particular tweet here, the first one, heading to Mustafa Mahmoud with a whole bunch of friends, including Hazim Anin, who was wearing exactly what he wore on January 25th last year. So people remembering that very, important day 12 months ago. And here, so there's, people looking back in celebration, but also looking to the future with a certain amount of, trying to remind each other of what still needs to be achieved. Shadi Hamid here saying that we should also remember try to figure out what has gone wrong in the past year. Reassess. It's the time to reassess, for self-criticism. Let's take a look at some of the photos as well, because of course, Twitter, it's all about getting those images out there, very symbolic images. Here you have Tantawi, the head of the military council. Now he's being paraded around as an effigy in much the same way that Mr. Mubarak was 12 months ago. So perhaps showing that things aren't fully finished for many. Also, I think this one is pretty symbolic. You've got the Egyptian and Syrian flags meeting in the middle of the crowd in Tahrir. These huge flags that were carried above the masses, I suppose symbolising the fact that for many this is a movement that goes beyond Egypt. It's a regional movement, and many hope that it will spread to Syria, even though I suppose the realities in each country are somewhat different. And just finally, this one, an obelisk, a big symbol in Egypt, going back to, I suppose, the pharaonic times. And here, the names of all the victims in the past 12 months. So people, they were very much present today in that
very much
demonstration.
A moving picture to show there, very, very moving. And the first tweet you showed there was from the Egyptian blogger Mona El Tahawi, the lady who was sexually assaulted.
That's right.
A few weeks back.
Well
she
spotted.
Was,
I forgot to mention that.
She was, captured by an Egyptian group there. So clearly someone who's suffered, seen, and campaigned for the change, and someone who's played a key role in making sure that the message of Egypt was pasted far and wide via Twitter and the social websites, as you say.
That's it.
Okay, speaking of social media, as we often do here, it is a useful tool for businesses and for marketing, obviously, until it goes kind of wrong. James has an example of how it did.
You see, they're kind of playing catch up because communications now has changed and it's much more interactive. You can talk back. So what McDonald's did in the past week.
Well, this is as in burgers, McDonald's.
That's right. Okay. They tried in the US to start off as sort of a series of comments about McDonald's stories. So they started off a hashtag, which is how you organize these little micro blogs. Hashtag MD stories. And they put up a couple of their own. For example, a lot of love and passion goes into producing the beef for our burgers. And they put up a little video, all very nice, all very fluffy. And I suppose they thought people would start posting stories about that Happy Meal they had, the nice time they had at McDonald's. Except within 2 hours, they were scrambling to get this thing off Twitter because they paid to have the tweet, what would you call it, the hashtag promoted. And within 2 hours, you had stuff like this. My brother found a fake fingernail in his fries. You had this. One time I walked into McDonald's and I could smell, I think he's exaggerating there, type 2 diabetes floating in the air, and I threw up. And that's going back to the earlier story. So basically, it was totally turned back against them. But within 2 hours, even though they tried to control the situation, the Pandora's box had been opened and there was nothing they could do.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When it goes wrong,
it goes really wrong.
And it does turn.
That was not the results they were hoping for.
Have we got time to finish with this new rage in Norway?
This is in Norway. Football. Right. And bull kind of means bubble or foot bubble. Let's take a look at these pictures. This was between the first division teams in Norway of Sarpsborg 08 and Fredrikstad. And there they are. It does exactly what it says in the tin, Mark. It's people playing football with a big plastic ball over their head, and apparently it's very safe. You see, because when you fall, you know. But as my colleague Karim was saying earlier, most football injuries are actually to the leg. And that ball
you can't get close enough to kick anybody, James.
All right, well then maybe it does work. So there you go, the new rage in Norway, football.
Yeah, I really see that
We'll see if it takes off.
Crazy stuff.
Football World Cup, maybe.
James Creedon with all the football news there. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Mark.
James Creedon with Media Watch. Short break and then we're back with a full news roundup. And of course we have all the sport, the latest from the Africa Cup of Nations. 2 games, lots of excitement. Dan Levy with all that. Stay with us.